Welcome back, everybody. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today to talk about sustainability in the glass industry. So if you open the program that you have with you, the first sentence that appears there is building a sustainable, equitable, and better world with glass. So the session we have here right now with the four distinguished speakers around me will be specifically dedicated to sustainability in the glass industry. So without further ado, I will introduce the first speaker for today, Mr. Florian Kongoli from FLOGEN, who will be talking to us about sustainability framework and the primary role of science and technology. So Dr. Florian Kongoli is a worldwide renowned expert in the field of sustainability. He has been receiving many awards and in the field. He is notably a member of the Euro-Mediterranean Academy of Arts and Science, and he was named Environmental Tech CEO of the Year in 2017. So, Dr. Kongoli, the floor is yours.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and we should say probably good morning, good early afternoon. The subject of my talk is sustainability, which is a little bit different from probably what you have seen until now. It's a unique perspective. It will cover the sustainability in general and also applicable in the glass industry as one of the materials that exist that we deal today in the world. First of all, I'll try to explain our new concept, the framework on sustainability, and why we ended up developing this new concept. You'll see in the screen is an eagle fighting with a drone. And this is the reality today. Why I'm starting with this, you will understand a little bit later. I'll show two short videos just to put you in the context.
112 operator, what is your emergency?
It's my dad. I think he had a heart attack. Please help. He's not breathing anymore.
Please stay calm. What's your name?
Joanna.
Good. Joanna, we've got your location. The ambulance drone is on its way. Remove his top shirt to uncover his torso.
Okay.
Great. Can you go to the nearest exit? The ambulance drone is almost there.
Okay. I'm outside.
I'll be talking through the drone now, so you can put down the phone. Now please pick up the drone and bring it to your father. You're doing great. Okay, pull the green lid. Now place the pads on your father's chest. Good, I can see that the pads are properly applied. Joanna, please stay clear of your father. We'll take it from here.
Hi, I'm Alec Momon. I'm a graduate student at the TU Delft working on a project for Living Tomorrow and UZ Gent. Our vision is to improve current emergency infrastructure with a network of drones capable of saving lives.
So this is the first video, drones at the service of humanity. I'm going to the second video, which is a shorter one.
Give me your fucking money!
Fucking whoa!
Put your wallet in the bag! Do it, motherfucker!
You're not giving me my fucking wallet! Is that a gun? Whoa, Jesus Christ! Hang on, I got it.
Fucking face! Put the money in the bag now! What you got?
So these are two different use of drones. Why I'm mentioning these two videos and what is the point of those two, you'll understand a little bit later. Then we go to the next slide. So everything is related to sustainability. So there are three criteria of sustainability: environmental protection, economic development, and social development. In order to be sustainable, we have to simultaneously fulfill all the criteria. If one is left aside, we are not sustainable. Now, it has been a little bit confusion in literature all over the places, since everybody was trying to put in the concept of sustainability everything they hold dear. There's nothing wrong with that. Everything in the world is important. The issue is that all concepts were thrown in the same bag. Actors' goals were mixed together, and confusion was built as time went by. We tried to clarify this confusion, and we came up with a new framework of sustainability, where criteria are separate from actors or from goals. So if you go to the next slides, you'll see the different concept of sustainability framework. So I mentioned the criteria which are known. Then here we have the so-called pillars or actors of sustainability, which could help achieve sustainability or destroy it. And for us, there are three major pillars: science and technology and industrial practice, governance, executive, legislative, and juridical, and education and civil society. So these are three pillars of sustainability framework. These are pillars or factors. Again, there are three pillars, and as the three pillars, they are the three pillars of a table that they hold sustainability. You know, as a table with three pillars, you know, if one of the pillars goes away, the whole structure goes down. So the three pillars are science and technology, governance and management, and education and civil society. They are equally important. Anyone doesn't function, the whole structure goes down. This is the new sustainability framework. Now, in this, if there is no cooperation between the three pillars, then we are not achieving sustainability. So the criteria are on top, the actors or the pillars are down that they hold. They can hold or they can destroy the sustainability, depends on what we decide to do on that. You'll see in the next slide that you know, role of science and technology. I mentioned the three pillars are very important and are equally important, but the we have to follow an order. And for us, we have to start with science and technology. And why? There are specific reasons on this. You'll see that, you know, I mentioned this already. All factors are important. Why science and technology you have to start with science and technology. This is for different reasons. We'll see in the next slide. This is a book published in the United States recently, in 2018. Basically, the book, you see that we're doomed. Now what? The conclusion of the book is we are so far, so then we cannot stop now. We cannot do anything against global warming. And what is the solution for the authors? It is the only solution to, in response to the global climate change, is to commit suicide. This way, we don't use electricity, we don't use petrol, we don't use gasoline, we don't have children. So this is, according to the authors, in order to save the planet, we should die. You can search for the book. This is what is published in 2018. So actually, this is not a new theory. Let's go back to 1798. It is Malthus theory. They used a mathematical model in paper. Computers didn't exist at that time. And they found out that the population of the world will grow so exponentially, that the growth will be only arithmetically, so linear. As such, there is no solution. The world will finish one day. And so in order to manage this, the author proposed political solutions, like we should leave some countries die. Those countries that are not worth living, they should die. We should use birth control, we should use prostitution, etc., in order to keep the growth of population on control. So basically the model of growth, the mathematical model was not bad, almost the same. The growth exponentially is almost so correct. The problem with the author was that the solution was found outside science. Let's go a little bit, more recent. 1967, a best-selling book in the United States, America's Decision. The prediction was that by 1975, we will not have enough food for the world. So we'll have such a population that we have to find a solution. And the solution is you have to select which countries are worth keeping and which countries are worth dying. So, and the prediction was that by 1975, the world will have a big problem. And again here, the model of population growth was almost correct, plus minus. But the solution was searched outside science, only in the political level. And it's not the only thing. A year later, in 1968, population bomb, a best-selling in the United States. The same thing. The model predicted that population will grow so exponentially, will not be able to keep up, and we have to find a solution. And the solution, the model again, was not as bad. It was plus minus correct. The issue is the solution was searched outside of the science. And then the solution was again to find out whose are people that not worth living, and which one we have to keep living and which one let them die. So you see that the theory is not new. In 1972, the Club of Rome, the famous Club of Rome, basically there's another mathematical model which shows that the population will grow exponentially again. They have their own model, and they predict that by end of 20th century we'll have a big crisis. We are already in, so the scientific conclusion was not wrong. The population growth was predicted plus minus the same as it happened. But again, the solution was searched outside science. More recently, Global 2000, it was a book signed by American President Jimmy Carter. The prediction was also that around 2000, in the middle of 20th century, you will have a big crisis, and the conclusion was not wrong. It's a mathematical model, plus minus the same, good conclusion, but again, the solution was searched in a political level only, without discounting the science. Now, all those from 18th century to today, all mathematical models have been plus minus correct. This is the data from United Nations. Population growth is really exponential. You see the difference and the growth. So, mathematical models since 1798 until today are almost correct. The issue is, all the predictions didn't happen. We are still here speaking. We didn't face any destruction of the world. The question is, how? So if the predictions were correct, why we are still alive and we don't have the crisis? Well, because of the science and technology. So science and technology develop new, modern, techniques to increase the production of food components all over the world. And one of the countries of those dire predictions was India. India was considered like a country not worth living. But the Indian professor, you see on the screen there, he increased the harvesting from 12 to 17 million tons using the so-called green revolution. Green revolution is just by coincidence. It's not the green meaning that we use today. It was green because it increased the production of the cereals and food components. So, and the person that in 1970, the author of that green revolution got the Nobel Prize, and the professor from India saves literally India from the crisis of food. And these are United Nations data. Everybody can search on those. You see, from 1961 to 2016, the increase of different food components, cereals, fruits, fresh, etc., rice, has been increased from 237% to 414%. But at the same time, the population of the world, no, can you go back a little? At the same time, the population of the world has been increased almost half of that. You see, the total population. In developed and in non-developed countries, the population has been increased from 35 to 100, almost 200%. So the production of food overpassed the growth of population because of science and technology. And in the these are United Nations data, everybody can search. These are our graph of those data. And you see the production of food components overpassed the growth of population. So this is good. But not only that, it's one thing to produce more, but what happens with the quality of life? And again, the United Nations data with the quality of life in various different countries, developed, non-developed countries, have been increased. Why we see that? Because the length of life has been increased during all this period. So not only we had more food, but also we increased the quality of life, which is, quality of life is part of sustainability. So you understand that what saved the world was not political only decisions, were not the ideas of Malthus since 1985, racist ideas, etc., etc. So all the predictions were good. The solutions were wrong. Science and technology found the solution, and we are here today because of science and technology. And we are today at the same situation. Today we have similar issues, and the predictions are not bad. The science is good. The prediction that we're going to go overpopulated, will not have enough food, these are all good predictions, and the scientists have to be applauded. The issue is, we should not do the same. We should follow the history. We should pay attention to search the solution at the science and technology level. For example, automation. Since we are in technology, it's a concept that has been criticized a lot. For example, you see in New York Times, full page in New York Times against automation, how technologies wreck the middle class because it takes away jobs. The articles are published mostly by economic professors, and they are very well-known people. You'll have in my presentation, and I'm not going all of them one by one. You'll find these articles against automation plenty in major journals, in major magazines, and from famous authors, but mainly not exactly dealing with science and technology, but economists and sociologists. So we are against that. And why? This is a book, by the way, I published in 2012. And today, exactly today, it has been distributed 85,000 copies around the world, so it has been very popular. And this is free access, everybody can have access on it. And why? Why automation is a sustainable activity? And sure, it will take away some jobs in the future, but it will liberate space. The routine job will be taken care by the robots and through automation and artificial intelligence. And sure, the people dealing with the routine job will lose their jobs, but here enters the role of government to help, even for free, to re-educate and transfer them to more innovative jobs. So to pass from the routine jobs which can be taken care by computers and robots, to innovative jobs. We are all scientists here. We deal with innovation. Computers and robots cannot innovate. So if we change from the routine to the innovation, this is a huge path forward. And automation makes clear that we do more with less, and this is one of the principles of sustainability. I'm not going to all of those, but you get the idea. So if we follow the criteria, the sustainability framework I just mentioned in the beginning, why automation is good? Because it prevents emission first and saves the energy. These are exactly the environmental dimension. The second criteria is in the economy dimension. It stimulates innovative growth. Innovative growth. We forget growth, but growth is important. It was on a criteria of sustainability. So automation achieves this. There are many other factors there you can see in the screen, but I'm going to pass them a little bit faster. And in terms of social dimension, so increases the standard of human life. People do not work on routine, you know. We were used to see Charlie Chaplin working in the beginning of the 19th century, 20th century, doing the routine work and becoming a human person, becoming a robot. But this helps the quality of humans by transferring them in innovative way, in innovative jobs instead of doing routine. So this. Then that's why the automation is a sustainable activity and helps a lot. So we are against those people that are saying that automation is not, and then we have proven this. Because you see that I have two hats here. I am the CEO of a high-tech company, FLOGEN Technologies Inc., and I am a chairman of a non-profitable FLOGEN Star Outreach. Here I'm speaking on our results on automation. So you'll see here that our control and automation system, unique in the world, was able to decrease the energy production by 10 to 40%, increasing the yield simultaneously from 20 to 30%, improvement of quality of the product, a decrease of fluctuation in the production by 40%, a decrease of number of shutdown by 30%, decrease of waste and emissions by 10 to 50%, and additional financial profits per reactor, depends on the industry, from $500,000 to $12 million per year. These are the values per year. So we've proven this. This is just not a theory. Automation helps sustainability in all its three criteria. So, what about recycling and then landfilling? This is an issue today. There are many recycling companies that started only as recycling, then they went bankrupt. Why? Because the technology used were not feasible, were too costly. So in this case, in order to be sustainable, you might have the best technology in the world. If it is not cost efficient, you are bankrupt and you do not bring value to the society. So, you know, here we have also brought we brought our contribution. You can come back a little bit. The central paradigm of material science and engineering. You know, it goes. You know, the first we went too fast. So it is processing, and you'll find this interesting. So we go from processing to achieve a structure. The structure gives us the property, and then we have the performance. This was from a publication in 1997. This is a central paradigm of material science engineering. This is applicable to glass also. And then what was missing here was missing exactly the sustainability factor. So we added a reutilization and recyclability at the end. Processing, structure, property, performance, and recyclability. So when we start processing, we have to keep in mind recyclability at the end. But this is linear. And then also in 2001 described this going from goals to properties or vice versa. And this is linear. It is missing the factor. And then we transfer this in a completely circular economy in material science and in engineering. So, and this determines what is good, recycling or landfilling. If you are not able to have recycling low cost and brings value to society, sometimes it's better to landfill, which nobody wants, but this is a challenge of technology, to create a recycling of technology that is feasible, protects the environment, is economically feasible, and develop the society. So we have achieved also his results. We have increased by 10 to 50%, decreased the waste in different reactors. We have increased the recyclability of the waste from 40 to 80%, depends on the industry, because we deal not only with glass, we deal with iron, steel, non-ferrous, etc., and an increase of yield of 20 to 30% simultaneously. If you fix something and disturb something else, that's not sustainable. So, this is the sustainability framework. This is where everything falls there. So if we say about governance, management, it falls under governance. If science and technology is the main thing, but education is equally important, civil society is equally important. They are equally important again. Any one of those pillars goes down, the whole structure it becomes nil. So science, to conclude, first of all, science is a disruptor. And you saw from 1798 up to today, science disrupted the society, which is a good thing. And all the conclusions, plus minus, were correct. The issue is, even today, when politicians try to find a solution, most of the time they refer to science as long as we have the conclusions at the problem, at the diagnostic level. But they forgot to mention it as a solution provider. And this is where I have been pushing all the time. Science is not only disruptor, but a solution provider. And this is very important. For example, something that I'm going to go fast, but you know this already. So according to the CEO of Daimler-Benz, the real competitor of Mercedes-Benz are Tesla, Google, Apple, and Amazon. This was almost proven. Uber is a software tool. They have no cars, but they are one of the biggest taxi companies in the world. Airbnb is a software tool. They don't have any, they don't own any hotel. It's one of the biggest hotel properties in the world. Software can diagnose cancer better than humans. We're almost there. Software to recognize better humans, will detect better the sickness, the cancer. We might not need insurance and to drive anymore. Insurance companies might not be needed anymore. And these are disruption, but also solution provider. This is very important. If we forget one, still, politicians today, they refer to science. They say, okay, science says this. But then when they find a solution, they rarely, or they started, but they rarely look at science. So all this development, glass is part of all this disruptive behavior. Glass is part of all this, and during this we heard so many presentations in medicine and in various fields, in satellites. Glass is part of that. It's a sustainable material. Sure, there is a lot of work to improve it further, because we live in an energy crisis time. To finalize, I show those two videos in the beginning. Drone is a major development. But as any major development, you can use it in a good way or in a bad way. That's why we have government role and laws to reframe the use of science and technology. Alfred Nobel, his invention was dynamite. It was meant for mining. Huge improvement. And it was used as in the wars. So any technology has can be used for good and for bad. So drone can be used for good and for bad. The issue is we cannot say because drones are risky and let's get rid of drones. Mobile phones are addictive, let's get rid of them. Nuclear reactors have a risk factor and let's get rid of them. Sure, there is a risk, but this science and technology challenge to fix that risk, to find a solution to recycle the nuclear waste. So it's a role of science. So we cannot have only one criteria and decide politically without taking the role of science into account. So I think I am almost there. This is our goal. As I said, I have two hats. I am CEO of a high-tech company dealing with control automation in various industries, but also I have a chairman of a non-profitable society that achieves fights to achieve these goals, to achieve sustainability primarily with science and technology. And we organize every year Sustainable Industrial Processing Summit, where different fields is a multidisciplinary summit where there are 40 different highly specialized specific conferences, but they are brought together in order to increase the synergy. And that has been popular since 2003. The next one is in Phuket, Thailand, end of November this year. If we have time, I can show the video, but you are all invited. Basically, that's science, science, science. And what are the most important people in the world? Where to find them? You can guess. You are the most important people in the world, and I've proven through this presentation. You in the room. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kongoli, for highlighting the key role of science and technology in the sustainable role of glass in the world. Actually, now the microphones work, so you'll be able to use the red button. Yeah, it's been fixed. That's a great introduction to the next talks for this session that will highlight, again, the role of glass in sustainability.